A few logistical things. First of all, some of you already have done so. If you could, hi, here I am. So for those of the speakers who haven't done so yet, it would be really nice if you could tweet or otherwise share your slides somewhere. It's usually like pretty nice for us to have them kind of with a video section. Also, for anyone who was interested in the Haxe Beginners Workshop this morning and didn't get to do it, Andy actually already shared his GitHub repo on Twitter, and also he did this workshop last year, so this would have been like a slightly updated version of the last year one, so you can just go and watch the video from last year and literally like follow along the examples and do a little bit of a DIY kind of workshop thing there. Okay, so what else do I want to say? We're done. Like, this is so good. Okay, just take a breath. So one of the things that I noticed while I was looking and observing all of you was that actually this event has done a lot for some of you in terms of discovery, right? Like discovering new things or rediscovering old things, kind of like figuring out all of these little bits that we who are more in the core community and have been there for a long time kind of take for granted. Like Hugh, for example, is a super good example. I just told him this morning that you could probably give that same presentation every year, and every year there would still be people who are like, I have never heard about this. This is great. So this is one of the reasons why these events are so important, is just to help kind of like get a more of an understanding of what the Haxe landscape is like and what the community is like, who are the people in it, and not just kind of like the famous people from Europe, but also who is actually well, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, the European community, we have like 10 years head starts on you guys, right? So but it's kind of like also about discovery, who is over here, right? Like who is even close, because like there's always some new people who show up, right? Like you are new, or Josh, who just spoke, and I actually didn't know, but he also like he lives in Seattle, like, you know, he's like right around the corner. So there's like there's opportunity there to connect and to actually sort of like have a closer relationship and a closer exchange, which is really, really important for keeping everyone sort of connected and motivated and going forward. And I'm talking about this emotionally just as much as like, I mean, I know like, you know, we would all prefer to outsource our emotions. And I have been the empathy plugin for a lot of people, but like, as long as like, you know, as much as one would not like to admit it, you know, there is an emotional component involved in working in open source. There is a reason why you do it, and you have to feed that reason somehow. And connection and exchange and like a little bit of gratitude goes a long way to keeping someone motivated, right? Which is also why I feel like these conferences are a super important platform for people just to show off, you know, what they've been doing, or just to kind of get a little bit of a pat on the back and a little, you know, just positive energy, and feel more seen than you would feel by just putting up a website somewhere, right? So I'm like really, really glad that we've had some speakers who've never spoken before in the Haxe community and who've kind of taken that opportunity to connect. In the spirit of reiterating over old information, I actually gave a little presentation at the beginning of this year about the different communication channels that the Haxe community uses. I know it is suboptimal. We all do not like that there are like 50 places. Literally, there are like 50 places where someone could ask about Haxe and expect an answer. I have people who regularly Facebook message the Haxe page for information and things like that. So and like as long as like I don't like that these fragmentation is there, but it is there and it will always be there because people have a tendency to use whatever it is they're already using in order to reach out to other people. Which is why, for example, the core compiler team, like we're all on Slack, not because Slack is the best option. It's the only thing that already everyone was using. So it was the most likely for like Nicola, for example, to actually be, right? Without having to switch on an extra app. And similarly, some people are on Discord for the same reason. There is an active Discord chat on the community. We have some local communities. I know there is a very active Telegram chat in Russia, right? So like this will happen, and I have just printed these off again. This is kind of like a little bit, you can like all take one. It's a little bit of an overview of like what the most prominent channels are and also which ones we are monitoring. Because the truth is, I am not reading all the Facebook messages. I'm also not reading the Facebook page all the time. And there are some official channels where we actually kind of keep track, mostly the forum and GitHub. And anything else really is, and email, like you can always email me. But anything else really is kind of like a shout into the general unknown and like hoping that someone will read you, but you cannot have the expectation of that actually happening. Yeah, so that said, it was like super interesting to see that, and we're going to continue with this theme, people sort of like overcoming this first hurdle of meeting other people and also for talking for the first time. I always love when we have spontaneous speakers. And I'm always grateful also for flexible speakers. Randy, thank you so much again for filling. No, but it's kind of like, it's really difficult to just nail down a schedule and have everyone stick to it. So it really helps that everyone is, takes a longer coffee break in good spirit and just keeps things moving along. And I appreciate that y'all did what you could to keep this going. And so while I'm thanking people, there are people to thank. So I'm now going to start with the official list. So first of all, I would like to thank all the speakers and all the attendees because like shit wouldn't have happened without you. And I'm like very glad we got something together. For a while there, I was really worried. I'll admit that. No, I was kind of like, oh my god, this call for speakers has been out for like a month and it didn't, like nobody showed up yet. So thank you, especially thank you to all of you who I didn't have to bully into speaking. It really warms my heart. Then the folks at home. So there is Valentine and other people in the Haxe core community who made sure that the Haxe stream was actually on the Haxe.org website, which I had completely forgotten about. To David, who maintains the website, to everyone who keeps things running, to Simon for looking after our kid. Like all of these things that just kind of like these little supportive actions that just have to happen for things to keep moving forward. Then I would like to thank again my friend Johnny, who actually not only did do the whole graphics and kind of corporate design look of the Haxe Summit, but also has me set up now at a place where I can actually do this myself, which is very, very valuable for changing schedules last minute and stuff like that. So thank you for that. Then everyone in the Flow Play office who put up with us for 3 days. And especially everyone who helped make this thing run smoothly. So I guess those guys and those guys over there, Shane, hi, thank you. So like, it was such a relief for me not to have to worry about this. And also, it's kind of like, I know that this is sort of like the weirdest, most boring, but also most important job is for someone to sit at the camera or to sit at the stream and just kind of like monitor the whole thing and make sure that everything goes smoothly. It requires a certain like level of attention that is different from other types of attention, and I'm very, very grateful for that. You're my heroes. And then thank you Floatplay as well, and for having us, and for sponsoring this. And thank you, Derek, again, for keeping me sane while we make our way through this. It's been great. And that's it. Thank you. Oh, I have like one last thing. This is kind of like happened informally, but we have now an official swag exchange. I think we're gonna keep that for the next couple of conferences, just so that like everyone can bring stuff for their project and we can just all have a few things. And I think we're gonna head into a quick break and then see. I think that Randy asked to go first for like 15 minutes or so because you have a plane to catch. And then for anyone else who would like to share something small or just kind of like if there are any open questions, you can also like bully each other into speaking so that I don't have to do all the guilt tripping myself. Anyway, thanks.